As a clinical researcher, I design clinical trials, I recruit participants for them and see them through to the end, including disseminating the results. I also serve as a principal investigator for a recruitment innovation center that's focused on enhancing recruitment and retention in clinical trials. Well, clinical trials are basically the way that we get medicines and treatments and preventive strategies. If they're not tested, then we don't know if they work. So clinical trials are really the foundation for how we do healthcare and practice medicine today. I think the patient experience in clinical trials varies based on the kind of trial, of course, but most patients and participants have a really positive experience. Certainly that might change if you're in a clinical trial for a cancer where you're receiving a chemotherapy, the length of time for the study. All of those things impact how the experience is. But overall, most patients and participants have a really good experience, and some of them actually would like to do many more of them. Quality of care for patients and participants in clinical trials are not impacted in a negative way. For some kinds of clinical trials, like cancer clinical trials, the quality of care might actually be increased. Safety and privacy are of utmost importance in clinical trials. We spend a lot of time thinking about how we'll make sure that patients and participants are protected in many ways, and privacy is at the top of the list. So we have extra protections in place for the security of the data. When possible, we try and make sure that it's actually anonymous, so that when we're using it to do the research, we know as little about the individuals as possible. And certainly the confidentiality of sharing information is really, again, of high importance to us. For every clinical trial, there has to be human subjects approval. So institutional review boards are going to see all of the protocols, and those are reviewed by researchers as well as individuals from the community to make sure that the approaches are safe and well thought out. I would advise everyone to think about how they might participate in a clinical trial. It might sound scary, but there are really plenty of clinical trial options for everyone. Whether you're healthy, have a chronic condition, or have conditions that run in your family that you're concerned about, think about a clinical trial. Things that you use every day like aspirin and Tylenol, those medications went through clinical trials. The tests that we use to prevent diseases like mammograms, those went through clinical trials. So if we want to make sure that the preventive strategies, the treatment strategies that we have are safe and effective, we really need as many people as possible to participate in clinical trials. I think it's incredibly important as well for minorities and individuals from underrepresented backgrounds to participate in clinical trials. Many of the treatments that have been developed have not been properly tested in those populations. So when they come to market, we're not really sure how effective they're going to be in those populations. So I think it's important for everyone to have the opportunity to benefit from clinical trials, but we also need to make sure that once treatments and preventive strategies are available, that they're not doing undue harm as well.